What if I were to suggest that the instant you embarked on your journey of healing, you simultaneously transformed into a formidable force? Not due to any action you took. Incorrect. Yet due to your decision to cease performing a role that maintained the comfort of others. This elucidates the underlying psychological factors that may have led those in your immediate circle to oppose you. Carl Jung articulated profound insights, and once you grasp his discoveries, your perception of betrayal will be irrevocably transformed. Jung posited that the aspects of others that provoke our irritation can serve as a pathway to deeper self-understanding. However, the majority of individuals are not prepared to confront such a profound reality. In every relationship, there exists a tacit understanding. You remain diminutive. Your growth appears to be somewhat limited. You do not alter the narrative we have crafted regarding your existence. However, the instant you embark on the journey of healing, the narrative disintegrates. You transform into a reflective surface, and in an instant, they find themselves confronting the facets of their being that they have meticulously evaded for years. That is the shadow, the aspects of our being that we refuse to acknowledge, suppress, or cast away. Carl Jung referred to it as the shadow self, positing that many individuals prefer to externalize it rather than engage with it internally. What occurs when one ceases to diminish? You transform into a catalyst for reactions. It has been remarked that you have undergone a transformation. It has been remarked that you possess a distinct quality. However, what is truly implied is that you have ceased to embody the person I required you to be in order to evade my own self. That is a form of projection. When you cease the act of pleasing others, when you begin to establish boundaries, when you decline to engage in your own diminishment, you compel those in your vicinity to confront reality. Your development underscores their inertia. Your recovery jeopardizes their facade of dominance. And your transformation signifies the end of the narrative they previously constructed around you. However, Jung did not cease his endeavors at that point. He revealed a profound insight, a process of such profound potency that it instills fear in the majority. He referred to it as individuation, the profound expedition of realizing your authentic self, distinct from the expectations imposed by society. It resonates with a certain beauty, wouldn't you agree? However, there is a caveat. Individuation transcends the personal realm. It embodies a revolutionary essence. When one embraces their true self, it inevitably reveals the facades maintained by those who continue to masquerade. It is at that moment that they pivot. Your parents, your friends, your siblings, they do not consistently harbor animosity towards your authentic self. They disdain the very existence of your authentic self. What is the rationale behind this inquiry? As it dismantles the illusion, the notion that you would perpetually assume the role of caretaker, the reserved individual, the agreeable one, the person who never challenged the established norms. Yet now you find yourself in a state of inquiry. You are opting for veracity rather than ease, genuineness over societal validation, and that renders you formidable. Jung posited that each of us dons various facades, the construct he referred to as the persona. It is the persona we construct to navigate the complexities of societal existence, the visage we present in pursuit of acceptance, belonging, and affection. However, one must acknowledge the unfortunate reality. Many individuals overlook the mask, perceiving it merely as a superficial layer. They believe it represents their authentic selves. Thus, upon transcending the confines of your facade, when you cease to embody the persona that others acknowledge, it evokes a sensation akin to death. However, what is truly perishing is their delusion. You did not betray them. You have finally ceased the act of self-betrayal, and that represents the most daunting endeavor one can undertake in a realm constructed upon unexamined consensus. Carl Jung posited the existence of a profound force known as the collective unconscious, a complex network of shared beliefs and patterns that are transmitted across generations. It serves as the foundation for societal function, yet simultaneously acts as a constraint for individuals. This shared unconscious is contingent upon a singular principle: conformity. When one disrupts the established pattern, ceases to engage in the cycle of generational trauma, and opts for healing rather than repetition, the implications extend beyond the individual. Such a choice not only challenges the familial structure, but also poses a significant challenge to the broader system itself. Moreover, the system invariably retaliates. That is the reason it seems as though all have suddenly aligned against you. Why you have unexpectedly become the issue, the outlier, the one who stands apart. However, Jung perceived the underlying dynamics at play. The collective unconscious will engage to realign the deviant, as your transformation serves as evidence that change can indeed occur. This instills a profound sense of fear in individuals who have constructed their existence around the notion of constancy. One may encounter the remark, "You have undergone a transformation. Your current self is distinct from your former identity. You believe you possess superiority over us." What they are essentially conveying is, "I am no longer able to exert control over you. Utilizing your previous identity to circumvent my own suffering is not an option I can entertain. I find it difficult to identify with the reflection that stands before me now. Your unpredictability has rendered you immune to manipulation. You have attained sovereignty. There is nothing more perilous to a fractured system than an autonomous spirit." However, Jung's most profound revelation extended beyond mere interpersonal connections. It pertained to the depths of your internal landscape. He realized that genuine psychological development occurs solely when one can maintain a balance between conflicting truths. This is what he referred to as the transcendent function. When one embodies both strength and gentleness, kindness and clarity, openness and discernment, as well as nurturing and firm boundaries, one has tapped into a realm that transcends mere logic and the confines of the ego. You have engaged with the essence of existence. This form of integration becomes exceedingly difficult to manage, as it transcends the realm of unconscious injuries. Your response emanates from a state of completeness. Your unpredictability is what defines you. That is what grants you liberation. That is precisely what renders you formidable. To those who remain confined to binary reasoning, it is time to recognize that you have transcended the limitations of conventional thought. Moreover, individuals not only harbor resentment towards that, but they also experience a sense of apprehension. Allow me to present the reality. Carl Jung posited that the ultimate privilege in life is to fully realize one's authentic self. However, such privilege is accompanied by significant cost. Individuals will inevitably depart from your life. One may find themselves misinterpreted. One will face judgment, disdain, and abandonment, not due to any fault, but rather as a consequence of authenticity. Individuals who continue to inhabit a falsehood find it intolerable to be in the company of someone who embraces authenticity. Therefore, you are not excessive. You are not irrational. You are not exhibiting selfishness. You are in the process of recovery. You are engaging in the process of integration. You are recalling your former self prior to the world's insistence on erasure. Each assault, every dismissal, and every act of treachery serves as evidence that your brilliance cannot be obscured, that your growth is manifesting, and that your spirit has opted for authenticity rather than ease. Jung articulated, your endeavor is not to pursue love, but rather to identify and uncover all the obstacles within yourself that you have constructed in opposition to it. You have dismantled those obstacles. You have confronted the darkness. You have welcomed the disorder. You have opted for completeness. And that, as articulated by the foremost psychologist in history, is precisely the reason they can no longer tolerate your presence. The inquiry does not revolve around the reasons for their animosity towards you. The fundamental inquiry is whether you possess the fortitude to continue your growth, even in the face of a world that implores you to diminish. Your psychological evolution is contingent upon this matter. If this resonates with your inner being, consider subscribing to Deep Psyche. United, we traverse a journey defined not by validation, but by authenticity.